Hello? Can anybody hear me now? Test, 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 test. I can hear myself, and OBS is telling me that my microphone is on. So I have a feeling it has something to do. Capture audio only. Output desktop audio. Use custom audio device. Okay. Maybe that's the one. Hello, test, test. Good? We got some audio. How's the audio? Can you guys hear me? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the feedback. I really appreciate it. So I guess that whole time I was talking, nothing was recorded. Oh well, that's okay. Thank you so much for stopping by and giving me the feedback. So I started this stream saying that this is sort of it has an echo. All right. Yeah, this was supposed to be like a technical setup to see if I can get these things figured out. 'Cause I have no idea how to use the streaming side of OBS, so I might just have to take it offline and figure it out there. Echo, let's put this on slow mode for now. And let's keep, okay, so microphone, echo in OBS. Feedback loop occurs when audio from the speakers. Okay, so maybe we can fix that. So currently I have my webcam. It might be due to my webcam. So capture audio only. Okay, could use custom audio device. Oh, okay. How's that? I just changed something. Does it still have an echo? It might still have an echo. I don't really know what I'm doing. So I apologize if it's not good yet. I'll have to watch the VOD back and I'll have to play around with the settings. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for the feedback. I'm gonna try something else. So what we'll do is audio output. Maybe we'll turn that back off. Oh, I could. Okay, I'm testing. Test. Oh, nice. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much again. I really appreciate your help. That's awesome. Thanks for joining me now that you can hear me. So like I was saying, I'm just testing things out in this stream to see if to try to get these bugs out, because I've never used the streaming side of OBS, so I'm trying to figure these things out on a very late stream. It's very late where I am. This is an asteroid that I've been playing for, well, as you can see, 709 cycles, and I'm just sort of getting my duplicates to clean out parts of it right now because it was just a mess. And I'm still trying to dig through it. And I'm not really paying attention to the gameplay right now, so this was more of a stream where I wanted to test out all these things and then rewatch the VOD and see where I can make improvements. But I'm glad that you were here to help me out. I really appreciate it. I haven't even got to space yet. I've just been having so much fun taming all the volcanoes. Like, it's been a while since I've done a complete playthrough of this game. Since I've been working on YouTube videos, it's tough to get a playthrough in, because when you start it, you kind of want to just push through it and go through it and see it all the way through to the end. But when you're trying to come up with YouTube videos, that's sort of gets in the way of that. But I've been trying to get back into doing full playthroughs. This game is just so much fun. I love playing it. So I mentioned in the beginning of the VOD, which I guess is not recorded at all, because my audio was not working, that this stream is not really scheduled to go any certain length. It might end abruptly at any point. Just basically trying to see how the microphone is working and how the camera is going to look, and I'll rewatch the VOD and figure all that stuff out once the stream is over. So, and I apologize for being sort of low energy, because it is very late where I am as well. So, see who we got. 10 science. Oh, I really like that, but decreased excavation I'm not a fan of. I guess I don't really need another digger, but I'll take the fertilizer for now. I love duplicants with a lot of science. I love the skill leveling, and I actually do need some duplicants that can... I think I only have one pilot, so I would like someone who that I can take on once I start to visit the other planets, or asteroids rather, that can pilot. I have more than 600 hours. That's really good. That's a lot of hours. Like, this game is just phenomenal. I'm glad you like it. It's one of those games where it's kind of it's so easy to play 2 to 4 hours and just kind of have some fun with it. But once you start getting into the mechanics of it and trying to do stuff like the heat management, like this, taming something like a volcano, and it breaks the first 5 times you make it, and then you go on YouTube and look at a guide on how to do it. It just feels so satisfying. I love it. And then, you sort of come up with your own designs along the way, and it's just a lot of fun. It's one of those games where you can, if you want, you can put on a podcast in the background or a movie. Hey, what's up, AC? How you doing tonight? Thanks for stopping by. Let me just sit up a little bit in my chair here. Yeah, I haven't even got to space yet. I'm at cycle 710, and I've just barely built my bunker doors. There's just so much. I just have so much fun taming all the volcanoes and all the different vents, and trying to accumulate resources. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. It's been so much fun making them, and I never thought that people would actually enjoy, because there's so many Ani players out there on YouTube. So it's been a lot of fun. Hey Jaws, yeah, so I did get a lot of comments on that when I first started playing, and that was because when I first started editing videos, I used to stutter a lot. Like, I've worked on that quite a bit, and so I would have to edit out all the stutters and then piece it together. So my voice was just terrible when I first started making the videos. But lately I've been a lot better at speaking full sentences, and then if I realize I stutter, I'll just start over completely and then take that whole section and I'll use that for the video. But thanks for the comments. I did get a lot of comments like that on the earlier videos. The base game is a lot of fun. You really don't need Spaced Out to have fun with this game, because most of the mechanics are available in the base game as well. Like Spaced Out adds radiation and kind of advanced rocketry, but thanks, Jaws. I appreciate that. I did spend a lot of time editing, trying my best, but if you go back and watch, and now that you know that, you'll probably be able to identify exactly where all the cuts are. Because I would have like a 10-minute video with like 300 cuts throughout the entire video, just pieced together. I was your 220th sub. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, we've come a long way, right? Like we're at I think 1470 now. It's crazy. Like the reception that I've gotten on YouTube is just awesome. Like I originally made this YouTube channel for my friends because I was trying to get them to play this game, and they didn't. Instead of like backseat gaming with them, I thought I would make videos that would explain how they could play the game and how to use the different mechanics to their advantage. And there's a lot of things that the game doesn't explain to you when you start to get into the mid-game phase, like as far as heating goes, dealing with heating, cooling, and stuff like that. They kind of just give you the aqua tutor and say, here you go. But they don't tell you like how to set something like this up. So it's very basic once you figure it out once, but unless you're watching tutorials, it's kind of hard to piece together like, okay, this thing has to be made out of steel to withstand these temperatures, and then you have to cool it with water, and then the water turns into steam and the heat gets deleted, and so on. So it's definitely complicated if you don't have a lot of time to experiment. You know what I mean? But if you have the time to watch some YouTube videos and get to understand the game, it's just so much fun. Because once you build a aqua tuner steam turbine combo once, or once you tame a volcano once, you know how to do it for the rest of your playthroughs. Basically, it's just a matter of how you can turn those resources and make your base, like use them to your advantage, in the sense that you're not forgetting. Like for instance, let me just start that over here. Like this igneous rock is 370 degrees, right? So if you just let your duplicants take that into your base and start building stuff, your base is going to overheat like crazy, right? So you want to keep this area nice and cool for your Bristle Blossoms, and so your duplicants don't die. And it's those type of little details that if you don't know what to kind of look for, and even if you figure it out on your own, then you're going to end up destroying your colony very easily. So that's where I think YouTube videos really come in handy. And going back to what I was saying, that's kind of why I made my YouTube channel, is so my friends who don't play this game can learn from me. And I'm just happy that it's caught on with you guys, and that you guys were able to take some enjoyment out of it as well, because it makes me feel really good that I'm helping people out, and not just that, but that they're enjoying the content as well. So yeah, 220th sub, that's awesome. Thank you so much for being with me for that long. That is so cool. Let's see how many viewers we have now. Oh, we have 3 viewers. That is pretty cool. And that's like another thing, like I never thought I would have 3 viewers on a live stream before. So thank you guys for sticking with me and listening to me ramble on this very late night. Yeah, so not much going on. Like I was saying, I'm just kind of cleaning things up. Yes, I am planning to go to space. That's my next objective. So what I did here is I started a basically a Hydra. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Arif. That means a lot. That really does. I am planning to go to space. I've started this kind of super Hydra here, which I'm going to use to produce liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen eventually. And while that's producing first, it's not going to start producing liquid hydrogen and oxygen right away because it can't get cold enough. But I'm going to start accumulating the hydrogen and oxygen and having it cool down in the process. So when I get super coolant, I'll be able to use it for rockets. But yeah, so I've already started that. It's just not working right now because I don't need to waste the water on it right now. But it is fully set up, so it's primed, ready to go. I have all the automation, all the plumbing set up for it. And ever since I did my tutorial on infinite storage, I decided to use the methods as well. I know some people think of it as a little bit exploitative, but in all of my other playthroughs, I used to make massive chambers of like hydrogen, let's say, and it's just been a lot easier, I think, to just have a tiny chamber of hydrogen with 700 kilograms of it sitting in here, and it's nice and cool for me to use somewhere else. So yeah, I've actually learned a lot from my own tutorials, because people would request tutorials that on things that I haven't used or I'm not very proficient at. So I'd have to learn it to make a video on it and try to provide the best information possible, because at the end of the day, I think this game is it's just so much depth to this game that you have to you're constantly learning about it, I think. I'm very new to this game, and I've just gotten over being overwhelmed. I'm just learning the process, and I'm just in the process of learning. Yeah, there's a lot to this game. One of the, I mean, I'm sure you might already have heard this many times, but one of the best advice I have for new players is to not take on too many duplicates at once. That helps you manage your colony so much easier, because you don't have to try to overproduce food. There's less food waste. Like this entire colony, 713 cycles, is basically running on these 2 hatch farms. Like this one here has 1 critter left. This should have 7 and 8, and then some bristle blossoms. So here's my food count right now, and this is only because I've had the deep freezing storage here. But yeah, that's my biggest advice to new players. If there's anything else in particular that you find overwhelming when you're transitioning from early game to mid game, let me know, and I can try to lend a hand or make a video on it or answer it right here. I'm by no means an expert, but I think I do a fairly decent job of explaining concepts. So if there's any question you have, shoot, and I'll try my best to answer it. Like even at this stage of the playthrough, I take things really slow, and I just try to focus on one task at a time, and not get too far ahead of myself. Oh, okay, this is vacuumed out now, so I can go ahead and deconstruct that. So I'm going to be making a second liquid lock here, sort of like this, and then we'll do something like that. I guess I can't build over that because it's, yeah, there we go. We can deconstruct here, because we don't want to be pumping out the steam. My next subject to tackle is hydrogen, and then the green gas that cleans. Ah, chlorine. Yeah, so I'm not using chlorine in this playthrough. I don't have... I just have a bunch of it kind of floating around, but it is really useful if you're producing polluted oxygen from the cell... What's that thing called? The sublimation station. So this... Chlorine is really useful for this, or... yeah, basically cleaning water with germs or oxygen. Not using it in this playthrough. Hydrogen is pretty easy. Let me show you my hydrogen setup. So I have a hydrogen vent here. It's erupting right now. I have this entire section sealed off from the surrounding atmosphere. And I have liquid pipes running through these metal tiles. They're made out of aluminum, but you can kind of make them out of whatever. And it's a very simple setup because I'm using polluted water to cool the hydrogen coming out of the vent. And polluted water works... you can use basically anything here. The polluted water works the best. Any type of liquid is going to cool down gases very efficiently because it just holds so much more mass. So I'm taking this cooled water from my aluminum volcano using this thermal aqua tuner. And this is just a steam room I had nearby that I decided to use, so I didn't have to build a separate steam room just for this. And so I just have my piping running along, filled it with some polluted water. I have a liquid pipe thermal sensor here that stops working at 4 degrees Celsius. And once the hydrogen travels along this little path here, it cools down and then gets sucked up by the gas pump, which then gets stored into this infinite storage chamber. Oh, that you're talking about dracos. Yeah, the glossy draco. So let me show you. I have that set up here. So these guys, you'll probably find these... probably won't find these in the wild. You'll probably find the regular draco, which is... I have a couple of them here hanging around. And what you want to do is take these guys, put them inside of a chamber, and feed them mealwood. Eventually, they're going to start to lay glossy draco eggs. And once that starts to happen, you just separate the glossy draco eggs, put them into a separate chamber with something like bristle blossoms. And then as soon as you have a room full of glossy dracos, they'll continue to produce more glossy draco eggs. Now what I do, it's a very simple setup. There's way more efficient ways of doing this, but I can be kind of lazy sometimes. So all I do is I have an enclosed room. In this case, I have 2 side by side. And I fill the top layer of it with hydrogen. So I just pump it in here with these vents. And I have a hydrogen capture at the top of my base. So any hydrogen that gets released into this area, it'll always float to the top. It'll capture the hydrogen, send it back into this chamber where the glossy dracos are. And you can also take hydrogen from a vent. So if you use this setup that I do here, your hydrogen will already be very cold, and you can send it right to your base. Otherwise, it'll be very hot, and you'll probably end up killing the bristle blossoms that you're trying to feed the glossy dracos with. Anyways, once you have that filled up slightly with some hydrogen, you can start shredding them for plastic. And yeah, they give you a ton of plastic. So I've had these guys running since the beginning of the game, and I have 66 tons of plastic. So I don't even have a polymer press set up. In fact, I don't even use the polymer press at all. I can't tell you the last time I've done that. To me, so do any dupes ever go to Draco farms? Or no, mine's not fully automated. So they have less labor in here because I'm feeding them. Actually, I don't even think these guys can. Hang on a second. What do these guys eat? Yeah, they can eat mealwood plants, but mealwood requires dirt. So you would require constant your duplicants to be constantly coming in here to fill the tiles with dirt. Bristle blossoms are fully automated because they are all you need is water. So you just have a water source. The auto sweepers take out the phosphorite, the plastics, and the eggs, and it gets sorted. It gets sorted here, so you can see what's this. This is phosphorite, so it'll get sorted through these chambers and get sent to the appropriate area. In this case, I'm just dumping it right outside the base. What is not automated though is the eggs. So I've been on this farm for well, probably 600 or so cycles, and I just constantly look at these critter drop-off stations, and then when it says 7 out of 8, like that one does, I just go like this. I just grab a Glossy Draco from here, and then my duplicants pick it up and refill the, I don't know what she just, I guess it was break time. But yeah, so it's not fully automated. It is mostly automated. And I could fully automate it, but I've just been so lazy with expanding this farm from the state that it is now that I just kind of left it. And I don't mind checking on it every now and then, to be honest with you. It kind of keeps me engaged to the farm, and I know that's not really a good excuse or whatever, but like same with these guys. So I have this critter sensor here. So when my count is below 4, it'll drop eggs in here, and then I just take these guys and literally just go like this. So then I take that guy, drop him in here. Then I take that guy and drop him in here. And then my duplicants just take care of it. But you can certainly automate that. You can certainly have an egg dropped in here, awaiting incubation. Or, yeah, there's a couple different ways you can do it. It's just a little bit more complicated because if you have an egg in here while you have maximum critters, it's going to give you, it's going to make all your critters get cramped. So you have to do it in a way where you're kind of bypassing that critter number, if you know what I mean. Sorry if I'm not explaining it all that well. I'm kind of, it's kind of late where I am. It's past midnight, so the caffeine has long worn off. So yeah, and then it's as simple as that. Now we have 8 critters again, and they just continue producing plastic. It's no big deal. Oh, and I want to get these things swept up. Perfect. Just what I wanted. And then I guess we'll keep digging. I don't know. Is that worth it? Maybe I should go like this. Well, I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate you stopping by. I hope that you can get your hydrogen vent tamed and start feeding your glossy dracos. Oh, check this out. So all this water, this used to be full of water that came down from this area as I was digging out, and now it's all done. So trapped. That always happens, doesn't it? Now, if I this is so funny to me. This is one of the things that I wish would be fixed in the game, is they always the duplicants, whenever they're digging, it seems like they go up elevation by default when they're digging out their bottom platform. So if I dig out this ladder, obviously she's going to jump on here and kind of be stuck forever until she can get rescued. But why would she jump up here if there's already like an area where she can stand on the bottom? You know what I mean? It's one of those things that you have no, unless you've played this game like 600 hours like you guys do in the chat. It's one of those things that you might never come across, but then when you do multiple times, you're like, come on, why do you keep doing that? Look, she just did it again. Anyways, once you play enough, you kind of figure out how to get around that. The situation made me restart earlier. Yeah, sometimes, honestly, sometimes it's best to just restart and, you know, learn from your mistakes, because it takes so long to correct some things when, if there's a catastrophic problem or if you lose a duplicate for whatever reason, it just takes so long to fix it sometimes, and it's almost not worth it, depending on what stage you are in another playthrough. Just take some seeds for now. But yeah, it happens so often, especially when you're digging along this neutronomium along the side here. They always get stuck on these little edges here. And it's like, guys, you have a perfectly fine platform or like dirt or whatever you can walk on. but they decide to jump up instead on a ladder or on a little ledge. If there is a mod for that, I would definitely install it, but I keep forgetting to look every time I log off. So what I'm trying to do here is just, I think I can actually probably just mop all this up. Yeah. I'm trying to build tiles here to push the water over so it can be sucked up by this liquid pump, but now that I'm able to mop it, I guess it doesn't matter. We'll just build this down. And I'm also doing the same thing here. So I'm going to be building like that to push the water over so I don't have to do as much mopping. Trying to get the base cleaned up because this is a series that I started with the intention of uploading it to YouTube, and I wanted to make it look like I made some, like I took care of the base, you know? And it doesn't look like that right now. It just kind of looks like a mess. So I gotta practice what I preach in the videos that I make. So I'm just building another liquid lock here, and this will prevent the heat transfer from occurring. When this volcano starts to erupt in 10 or 11 cycles or so, and the steam starts to fill this room, the steam will transfer the heat into the oil, which will transfer the heat into the surrounding area. It's already quite hot. Oh, actually, no, this area is cold. Some areas, like here, for instance, are already kind of hot. So I'm trying to make a liquid lock right here with the intention of preventing that from happening. Just take off that. And I'll vacuum out this area as well. Give me a high pressure gas vent and give me that. So just kind of turn up the priority here. And actually, I'm using this exact same double liquid lock method on my industrial brick. So my industrial brick is cooled. I decided to have a cool industrial brick because at the time of building this, I don't think I had enough steel to make a fully hot industrial brick that has the steam delete all of the heat. So I decided to go with cooling instead, and cooling is easy enough. You can basically do it with one thermal aqua tuner. So this is my piping setup. This one thermal aqua tuner cools all of the power producing equipment down here. And the other thermal aqua tuner is tasked with cooling just the steam turbines. So this allows all of my, whatever's in this area, this chamber, the steam room, to run at full efficiency, or to be cooled efficiently with the steam turbines never overheating. And then The other aqua tuner just makes sure that nothing here overheats, because this is built out of wolframite, this is built out of copper, so it just helps keep everything um, at the optimal running temperature. And it really doesn't have to be this cold. I just decided to make it cold so it's at a glance I can easily tell, oh yeah, everything's working fine. But you know, once you get it down to a certain temperature, it's really easy to maintain it, because the aqua tuner doesn't have to work as hard to maintain the temperature as it does to cool something down. And then I have a double liquid lock, so my duplicants can enter the steam room, which is pretty important because I have the kilns in here, which I should actually probably produce some more ceramic with. I'll eventually have to make the steam room bigger so I can add more, because I need to start producing glass at some point so I can build the Great Monument, but just haven't really had that on my mind yet. And I'm also using the double liquid lock here for my duplicants. Once I upload the playthrough, you'll see that this is... this used to be a vertical liquid lock as well, but it kept getting destroyed because my duplicants kept delivering ice into this chamber, which wasn't actively cooled at that time. So they would bring ice through the liquid lock would freeze, breaking the liquid lock, and I'd have to always reset it, which was very annoying. Yeah, I like using the tile method as well. I do that sometimes. Hold on a second here. I gotta shut this off. Not that it really matters. I have so much power. I do use tiles sometimes. It's not... I guess it just depends what I'm in the mood for. Trapped. Oh, somebody is trapped somewhere. Yeah, it is faster. You're right. It is faster sometimes. I hope they're not trapped anymore. It probably would be faster for something like this, especially if I have duplicants working in the area, because then they don't have to walk so far to deliver the tiles. But I already have it set up for the gas pump, so I'll just continue to use it for now. But yeah, I do use the tiles sometimes. It's a perfectly viable option, and it can be a lot faster in some scenarios. For this one, I think it definitely would be. But as you can see from this playthrough, I'm not really trying to rush to get to the end anyways. Like, I'm at 700 cycles and I still haven't got the space yet. So I have only built my bunker doors. And I've had to build that because once I started digging out this area, the meteor showers started to rain down into my base, and so this is just kind of put in here to protect my base. I haven't really had too much intention on getting there very quickly. Usually when I play offline, I like to have something on in the background, like a podcast or maybe a TV show or a live stream of somebody else, and I just like to kind of play in the background, so I'm listening to the live stream more, and this is just something to do with my hands and my brain while I watch. So it's I'm not always heavily focused on the gameplay. Things just sort of happen, and as long as they're not catastrophic, it usually doesn't matter if it's not catastrophic. You just kind of keep going with it. I don't know if that makes sense. Sorry, it's past midnight here, so the caffeine has already worn off a long time ago. But anyways, let's continue to fill this up. And as soon as we get a little bit of liquid here, we can start to vacuum this out. I have 9 cycles, so I should probably start filling this up with some water as well. Let's see where I have my nearest water supply. Pretty far away. I'll just have my duplicants deliver it, I think. Just put that guy there. Drop a little bit of water in there. I don't think I have any nearby sources to pick up some water. I might just do something like this. Do you prefer to dig all or just dig what you need to dig? I like to dig all. I eventually want to have this completely dug out. I guess it kind of changes depending on what I'm in the mood for. Like, this has been a very slow, chill playthrough, and I've prioritized digging out a lot or as much as I can, but there's still so much to dig. And to be honest with you, I'd rather have my jetpacks to dig this stuff out. I don't want to be building ladders up here because it just takes so long and it's so messy. So I'm probably going to build jetpacks at some point to get up here, but do I need glass? No, it's the lead suits that I need glass for. But I need to get data banks right now. So before I clear out all this, I'll probably focus on getting some more data banks and then get my jetpacks. Earlier, like when I played this game, not for YouTube, I focused a lot on just rushing to the finish, and that's before I had spaced out. So what I used to do is just kind of pick a random asteroid from... There used to be... Well, right now I'm using mapsnotincluded.org, I think. And I usually pick something that I think is going to be fun, because I've played the game enough times now that I just kind of want to play with geysers. I want to tame as many geysers as I can and volcanoes. So I pick something that's fun, and then I would rush to complete the Great Monument, get to space, and do all the objectives that's in the printing pod. So right here, Home Sweet Home and the Great Escape and all that. And I would consider the game to be finished, and I would move on to something else. But lately, I've really enjoyed just digging out the entire asteroid. And this is probably... I'm playing on spaced out, so the asteroids are a little bit smaller, but I would say that this is going to get dug out at some point. The entire thing. It's just a matter of, am I going to wait till I have jetpacks or not? And I really do want to wait till I have jetpacks. I will take some oxalite. Actually, the bristleberry is not too bad. But I have to manually... Oh, these guys are mad. When these guys are mad, my duplicants are not happy. Where's my medical? There it is. So my duplicants aren't hurt yet, but these guys are really mad right now. So we'll just put that there. And the bristleberry we'll put in the deep frozen storage. Everything here is deep frozen, so. Do you like to dig it all out, or just what you need to, RF? Oh, and I'm using my hydrogen. I should have mentioned this earlier, like maybe 30 minutes ago when I was talking about hydrogen. But I'm using my hydrogen from this vent, and I have it routed all the way up here into my AETN. And this is what's cooling my food. So this is minus 162 degrees Celsius. And this very cold hydrogen gets routed up to this chamber, and this is what's keeping my food fresh. And this tiny little liquid lock is holding it all in. Oh, I have some... no, those are regular larva, Sixter larva. I thought I had some of these guys, the long-haired. So I'm kind of curious if my duplicants have been not repairing the Atmos suits because there's nothing here. I wonder where they all are. Are they all digging somewhere? They might be. I prefer to dig it all. Yeah, I think it ends up looking way cooler once you finish and it's all dug up. But like I said, it really depends on the mood that I'm in. Like sometimes I'll dedicate a whole 2 hours to just digging and sweeping. Exactly. I like it. I like to see it clean as well. It just takes a lot longer. So that's kind of the trade-off, right? This is one of those instances where I've just really enjoyed seeing the map, cleaned out and having room to expand wherever I want to, not having to worry about different types of gases or liquids being trapped and then having to work around it. So it's been a lot of fun. So let's get some water in here. This looks like it's locked up now. So we'll start clearing that out. And hopefully I don't forget about that because usually I do. When I was building this volcano, I put in way too much water and I broke it before it was fully functioning. I was very disappointed at myself. So I have to be careful not to load up too much water and create too much steam. Or was it? I don't know. Maybe it was something else. But I caused one of the volcanoes to overpressurize, so they wouldn't erupt. Maybe it wasn't the volcano. Maybe it was. Oh boy, that was a long time ago. I don't even remember what that was. But yeah, that's definitely a tip for pro tip for building volcano tamers. Do not overfill with water. I always say in my videos, it's always easier to add more water if you don't have enough steam than it is to try to delete the steam, because then you have to reroute very hot water somewhere else. And sometimes that just doesn't make a lot of sense to do that, especially if this volcano or whatever you're trying to tame is very close to your base. It just becomes a hassle to do it. So okay, so that was pretty easy. We got this all vacuumed out. Can go ahead and destroy everything. And just make sure this is all swept up. Okay, I'm gonna keep digging it on this side here. Just keep going there. And I'm probably... Yeah, let's sweep all this up, or mop it up rather, and then start sweeping it. And once our duplicants get this all swept up, I think that's when we'll call it a stream and call it in for the night. And then maybe we'll play... Maybe I'll play a little bit tomorrow after I look at the VOD and see if I was happy with how things went. I know at the beginning the microphone wasn't working very well, or at all rather. So I'm glad we got that figured out pretty quickly. I have all my duplicants dropping whatever they sweep. Well, actually right now they're dropping it here because I gave them the sweep command inside here. But my intention is to always have the duplicants drop everything into this automatic dispenser. This just happens to be full of crude oil, but really it can be full of anything. And this just keeps things from off-gassing that's in here. This is an infinite storage for solids. So I have pretty much everything that you can think of that you find around your asteroid in here. I have that one. And then I have the one up here, which is just so happens to be full of polluted water. And that's because I have a ton of polluted water that used to come down here when the ice was melting in this cold biome. Which, by the way, I'm using to produce nectar, so that's pretty fun. This is my nectar storage, so I have 4 liquid reservoirs almost of nectar. And yeah, that's... I have some ethanol that I used to be producing, but I forgot about my... What's that critter called that produces the ethanol? I forgot. The spigot or something, right? Spigot seal. So I had a couple of these guys, and I forgot why they perished. I think I either ran out of food for them, or they all became cramped and they stopped laying eggs. And during that time, I didn't have food for them, and then they perished or something like that. But in retrospect, I should have just not tamed them. Not like I've turned this into a farm, or a stable rather. And so I could get more production out of them, but now I don't have any. And I can only get them from the printing pod. So I should have just kept them wild so they would always lay another egg, but it is what it is. Or at least I should have kept one wild one around. Yeah, so every once in a while I check in on these. So this says 7 out of 8. I just take another one, pop them here, bam. That's the cost of not automating your farms, but I like it. It keeps me engaged. Keeps me up to date on what's going on. I could just put a notifier in here and to let me know when this goes below 8, but I don't feel the need to do that. I think I've been pretty good so far, keeping an eye on things. Oh, and I have this one to vacuum out as well. So this is going to be 10 cycles. Disabled. There we go. So I want to get this completely vacuumed out. And I'm not sure what to do with that yet. Oh, this is storing bleach stone. Not sure what to do with this yet. I might integrate it with this steam room, or I might just have it closed off in the box for now. I'm not sure. This is going to produce 1,013 grams per second. This one produces 1,500. So is it worth to get this one? Is it worth to get the water out of here? I mean, probably. It probably is worth to get the water because I have this massive hydro set up here that I eventually want to feed. And this is going to drink my water like crazy. And once this goes online, there's no way that I don't think this water geyser is going to keep up with it. Like, what does this take? This takes 1,000 grams per second of water. And I have 12. And this outputs 2,000. Yeah, so not a chance. Not a chance. So it might be worth it to get this guy online. And it might also be worth it to tame this guy, which I don't even have analyzed yet. But it's dormant, so I guess I could get my duplicates in here to do that. Maybe we'll get that going right away. Is there any germs here? No. Okay. The germs are all up here. Because I'm going to need all of the water I can get for those electrolyzers. Okay. I just hope it doesn't start erupting at this point, because there are some germs. Well, they're pushed up into this carbon dioxide, but I don't want the germs to mix in with the steam, because then the water will become germy. And I suppose if I'm using the liquid oxygen for, or I suppose if I'm using the water to create oxygen that I'm eventually going to be using for liquid oxygen for a rocket, it probably doesn't matter, but still, I want to keep the contamination separated, so hopefully it doesn't start erupting while it's exposed. I don't know. I messed that up once when I was very new at the game, so I don't even know if that's still a thing. To be honest, I just try to not not have it happen anymore. Where I expose this to like polluted oxygen that has germs in it, and then the water gets germy from all the steam that's produced. Where is Gossman? Come on, Gossman. Oh, he's doing this? There's literally no one else to do this? Alright, well. I guess I'll just put on the at the top priority. Oh, I dropped my mouse pad. Okay, there he goes. Oh, come on. I don't want to listen to that the whole time. That's probably Gossman. If he pees in his pants or his Atmos suit, I'm going to be disappointed. At least he can't pee in the clean water supply. It would just go overboard. That's one of those things that you usually learn the hard way in this game. Hey, thanks a lot, Red Wing. Really appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for the love. Super appreciative of you guys coming by and saying hello. It's pretty late where I am, so I apologize if I seem a little bit low energy. But yeah, really appreciate everybody here that stopped by in the live stream and to say hi and help me with the audio as well. Does it say Stalker 2? I thought I changed that. It does say Stalker 2, doesn't it? So, yeah, I guess I just didn't know how to... I didn't know how to change that when I first started the stream. And I thought I changed it, but I guess it still says Stalker 2. I'll change that in the VOD, but thanks for letting me know. I didn't know it still said that. My YouTube studio says Let's Play Oxygen not included. I'm about to end the stream as well, so it's getting pretty late, and this was sort of a stream to test my audio, test the webcam, just to look back at the VOD and see how the stream looks, because I want to do more of this. This is a lot of fun. I really enjoy hanging out with the community, with you guys, with the fans. I love making the videos, but you know, eventually I can only make so many videos on a game, right? Once you cover every single topic, which I haven't done yet, but once you cover every topic, the videos eventually stop. So I want to start streaming and hanging out with the fans, maybe playing some different games as well. So this was a test stream to get that all figured out, to see how the lighting looks, to see how the green screen looks. So I'll go back and watch the VOD and sort of make the determination on what I need to improve on. But yeah, I'll definitely change the title when the VOD's up. Thanks a lot, Red Wing. I really appreciate it. Yeah, this game is just so deep. There's so much stuff to learn. I'm definitely not going to stop producing content for the foreseeable future, because I still have a lot to cover. Like, I haven't even got to covering space yet. I haven't got to covering space, planetoids, other asteroids, and all that stuff. I've been covering a lot of beginner-friendly tutorials, but or beginner friendly subjects, but I want to start transitioning to talking about more mid to late game subjects as well. So um, I said I was talking about this earlier in the stream, but I made this channel originally to help my friends play the game because my friends didn't know which YouTuber to watch to learn how to play or to use the game mechanics, essentially, because the game doesn't really teach you a lot after the first 10 minutes. So I said, hey, I'll start making some videos. Come watch my videos and learn how to play. And I just happened to catch on with you guys. So I really appreciate you guys stopping by and you guys enjoying the content makes me keeps me motivated to make more of these videos because it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to make them, and I'm glad that it's able to help people out. And yeah, I think the next step for me is to start streaming and to share the gameplay experience with the community as well. I appreciate that, Red Wing. I try to include as much as possible, and I try to explain it in a way as if the player or the viewer has never approached a situation before. So I try my best. Sometimes I miss stuff, and people point it out right away, and I'm very appreciative of that because it keeps me on my toes. And I also learn a lot from making the videos as well. So there's a couple subjects that I've had to cover that I didn't know a lot about until people requested videos. So I would have to go learn it and play with it myself. And from there, I'm able to, circuit overloaded. From there, I'm able to transition in, and make it into a video and pass that information on to you guys. Yeah, the overlays help a lot. I know a lot of people don't do that, but the YouTubers that I started watching when I was learning the game did a lot of overlays, and I felt that really helped me out. So I try to include that in my tutorials as well. I try to put in as much information as I can while keeping the videos condensed, because inevitably any topic that you cover in this game, you're going to it's going to overlay with other topics. Like if you're talking about gases or liquids, it's going to overlay with heating and cooling, because you can't just use liquids raw most of the time. Most of the time you have to cool them or heat them up, or depending on what you want to do with them, right? So it's really hard to include every bit of detail and keep the videos as condensed as possible. So I try my best to make sure that no matter what topic I'm explaining, I get as much information across as possible. So the overlays help a lot, I feel. Thanks a lot, Nate. Really appreciate the feedback. Have you just started playing the game, Nate, or have you been playing for quite some time? I haven't played No Sweat, Red Wing, so I don't know. I have no idea how No Sweat works. I imagine things are a little bit more forgiving in No Sweat, but I haven't played it. I should give it a go now that you mentioned it, just to see what it's all about. I'm sure that the heating tolerances are a lot more forgiving. You know what I mean? Like it's just probably some sort of tuner in there to help it so for example, your bristle blossoms don't overheat as soon as you start giving them 30-degree water or something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure if the devs changed anything in the tuners to make it harder or easier to cool things, but I don't think I've noticed too much of a difference, to be honest with you. I don't really keep on top of the dev logs all that much. Do you use the steam turbine aqua tuner combo when you're trying to heat and cool things? Yeah, Ani's a great game to put into your rotation. It's one of those games like Civ where it's just one more turn, right? Or one more cycle in Ani. And then you end up staying up until 2 a.m. like I am right now. I said I was going to end the stream maybe 20 minutes ago, and I'm still here hanging out with you guys. So I really appreciate you guys stopping by. What other games do you play, Nate? Uh, 10 cycles. Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know the exact amount of time it should take, but if you're cooling something for the first time that's very hot, it does take a long time because your aqua tuner only deletes 14 degrees for every liquid, every packet of liquid that goes through it. So if your liquid's very hot, make sure that you're definitely using polluted water for as your coolant. Obviously, you won't have access to supercoolant early on in the game, so you have to use something like polluted water or nectar. That will definitely help with your cooling efficiency. But if you start at a very high temperature, it's definitely going to take a lot longer than if you pre-chill whatever it is you're trying to cool. So let me show you kind of what I mean. So in this case, I used to have a SPOM here, a full Rodriguez setup that was sending hot oxygen into this cooling chamber, which you can see is still being cooled by the aqua tuner. And these gas shutoffs would stop the oxygen going through unless the oxygen met a preset temperature, which in this case was 22 degrees. And because the oxygen was coming out at 90 degrees, it would get stuck in here for a very long time, and then my base would be like out of oxygen, and my app mode suit docks would have no oxygen in them. So now what I do is I have this hydro set up, and I'm cooling the oxygen as it's coming out of the electrolyzers. So you can see this is fairly cold. It's at 25 degrees, and I can make it a lot colder if I just change this liquid pipe thermosensor. Like if I put this down to 20 degrees, all the oxygen in here will be roughly 20 degrees. Do you know if the Glossy moose respawn in their planetoid? I've traveled to their planet and didn't do any ranching, and now the planet is empty. They should always lay an egg. If they're wild, they should always be laying an egg, and they should definitely be, unless they died from some other circumstance, I think they should be always laying an egg if they're in the wild. But I don't have anywhere I can verify that. Like usually when you click on them, it'll tell you, excuse me. Sorry, guys. Usually when you click on them, it'll tell you what their egg chances are if they're wild, it'll usually say 100%. So they'll always reproduce one egg before they pass on. And I don't. They should definitely do that even on other planetoids. Oh yeah, the prehistoric DLC. You know what? I haven't even tried that yet because I've been, the videos take up a lot of time. Making the content, editing, and then also playing this asteroid, which does have the DLC installed, but it's not using the DLC requirement of saving the colony before the meteor destroys it, or whatever the case is. So I actually haven't even touched that one yet. I plan to as soon as I finish this playthrough. I'm really excited to try the prehistoric DLC. It looks a lot of fun. Battlefield 6 beta. Yeah, so I've seen the queue on that beta. My friend was trying to play it today. It was like 3 hours long. I forgot if he's on PlayStation or PC, but yeah, that game looks like it's a lot of fun. I've just first-person shooters are I'm sort of past my prime in first-person shooters, so I don't play those anymore. But I'm glad that you've been enjoying the beta. It does look like a really good Battlefield. My favorite one would be Battlefield 1943, I think it was, on the Xbox 360 arcade. I've played newer ones since then, but that was my favorite Battlefield. Yeah, you miss being young. Well, I can still play FPS, but I'm going to be at the bottom of the leaderboard. The game, AC, the game is able to go on indefinitely as long as you're able to supply your duplicants with oxygen, food, and water. Water is the most critical resource because water directly translates into oxygen. So if you have water, you basically have oxygen. And food is really easy if you have a, let's say if you're feeding your duplicants barbecue, which you can get from hatches. You can feed the hatches from igneous rock that comes from a volcano. So yes, you could technically make it go on forever as long as you have those three bases covered. My last FPS was Modern Warfare 2. Which one? The new one or the old one? Because the 2009 Modern Warfare 2 was amazing. I haven't played the newer one. I'm 40, but I feel young. Yeah, it's when you're playing games, like I think games keep you feeling young. It's great. Not when you're in sweaty lobbies against teenagers in Battlefield or Call of Duty, but I tried to play Call of Duty on Game Pass maybe a month ago, and I was just terrible. I apologized to my team. I was just so bad. But they were good sports with it. The first one, yeah, the first one was great. That was my favorite. That was probably my favorite Call of Duty. It was just so chaotic and so much fun. My first ever Call of Duty was COD 4, and I remember how like iconic that game was for its time. And then Modern Warfare 2 just set the bar so high. Like not just for FPS, but at the time for the gaming industry, because that game was so popular. It basically blew everything else out of the water. Then my last Call of Duty was probably Black Ops 2. I think that's when I stopped playing. It just became, well, you know, you grow up, you don't have as much time to play, and then you start to age. Then when you go back and play every now and then, you just It's just not the same, right? You don't have those quick reflexes anymore. So, yeah, I guess at some point, age takes over when it comes to FPS. But there's still a lot of fun. Like I love watching um like the new Battlefield does look really cool. The sound is amazing when I'm watching streamers play it uh, with the headset on. Like the sound is just incredible in that game. The gunplay looks like it's a lot of fun. I wish the maps were a little bit bigger. Like if the maps were bigger, I probably would give it a shot and start playing again. But I think the smaller maps really require you to have the quicker reflexes, which I just don't have anymore. Yeah, I'm the same way with CS2. It's fun to watch because of the skill level of some of those players, but as far as playing it, there's no way I could hang with those guys. This is more my speed. Point and click. Okay, so we got this vacuumed out. This will be going in 3.3 cycles. So I think what I'm going to do, so I don't forget about it. Oh, speaking of forgetting about it, look at this. I've totally forgotten about this. And I said this on the stream where I said, I really hope I don't forget about overfilling the volcano. That's okay. That's okay. I think maybe we'll be okay here. Maybe. I'm gonna build... Definitely going to have to build this up a little bit. Maybe put a tile here, because if I start producing too much steam, I can always route it away, but I think a lot of it's going to go into here. Yeah, I sort of try to trust myself and not build the liquid meter, but as you can see, that doesn't always work out very well. Yes, I do use SPOMs. I love using the SPOM. It's one of my favorite things to build. The full Rodriguez is just so much fun to build. But ever since I made my last video on the Hydras, it's not my last video, but a couple videos ago, I decided to build one in game because I need to know how to build it before I can make a video about it. So here's the Hydra that I built in game, or sorry, here's the Hydra that I built for the video in game, and it's still working. So I always do that with my builds. I try to make sure everything that I show in the tutorials is going to work in game. So I destroyed the Hydra. I destroyed the full Rodriguez SPOM. It used to be right here, and I've transformed it into a tiny Hydra. Then I have this Hydra waiting in the background. Once I get more water supply, this is going to produce my liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen for my rockets eventually. So I have everything set up. I have the cooling loops in here to pre-chill the hydrogen and oxygen. I have all my wiring set up, and I have all my automation set up. And then I have this smart battery set to turn on at 50%. Usually it doesn't reach that far, so this is actually not a SPOM anymore because it's connected to my main power grid. But this hydrogen area here, or this hydrogen generator area, acts as sort of a backup in case my natural gas geysers and my petroleum generators can't keep up with the demand. Yes, Nate. So what I would recommend, if you're not at the stage where you can build a industrial brick and cool it like this, is to put this metal refinery. Well, there's two things you can do with it. the first thing you can do is stick it into a cold biome like this. If you put it right here and if you just dump some polluted water, like if you just use this polluted water and have the metal refinery in the cold biome and then have the pipes snaking through the cold biome, you're going to do two things. One, you're going to constantly keep this polluted water cool. And number two, you're going to melt all of this ice and turn it into water, which you can use wherever you want. So the heat will eventually generate, or the heat will eventually overwhelm the cold biome. But it'll last for a good 50 to 100 cycles, depending on how much steel you're trying to make. And that's usually the easiest way to transition to steel. The second thing you can do is just basically find any pool of water on your asteroid, like let's say here, but obviously a lot closer to your base. And you can use this polluted water as well for your coolant for your metal refinery, but try to combine it with other pools of water like this one and that one in here, because what you want to do is, let me just pause the game for a second. Maybe we can sort of go through this together. What I would do is put the metal refinery, like let's say here, and then let's pretend for a second that I had all this dug out and all this polluted water was together. I would probably put a liquid pump here, or maybe at the back. It doesn't really matter. And then route my water supply in like that into the metal refinery, and then have my outlet way over here so that I'm constantly taking polluted water that is relatively cold, sending it into my metal refinery, and I'm dumping the very hot polluted water at the other end of this water storage basin thing. And this will allow you to continue to use this water for, again, a very long time before it becomes overwhelming for your metal refinery, because the water will start at this end and it will get colder as it mixes together. You know what I mean? So that's another way you can do it. And that should allow you to get enough steel to eventually build something like this, where you stick your metal refinery into or right below a steam room. So what I have done here is I have crude oil. It's 260 degrees. It gets sent up into this steam room, and the steam room deletes the heat because the steam is going through the steam turbine. And I have a liquid shutoff made out of steel, and a liquid pipe thermosensor, which allows the coolant to come back into the metal refinery when it's below 125 degrees. And that's how you do it long term. So I hope that helps. I hope that was coherent enough. So I just liquid lock, and Atmos sits in an isolated room as hot as hell in there. Yeah, that's another option. So that's what I love about the game, though, is that there's so many different ways to deal with solutions. It just depends on what you find the most fun, right? So there's so many different. Those are the two ways that I like to deal with it. But yeah, liquid lock, toss it in a room, and as long as the liquid that you're using as your coolant is not turning into or changing state because it's getting too hot, you can basically keep the metal refinery running as long as you want. Like, it does produce quite a bit of heat. CRF, thanks for stopping by. Thanks again for being here and for enjoying the videos. I really appreciate you and your support. So take care at work. Have a good day. Need the first steel just for the forge. Yeah, the first, getting your first block of steel can be a little bit challenging, but I would try those two techniques. Just either put it in a cold biome and use a nearby pond, or you just use a very big pond, and then you don't really have to worry about it being in a cold biome. Yeah, so polluted water is is the best water you're going to have, or the best liquid you're going to have available to you that's used for cooling. So if you look at my video, let me check. There's a video that I made on this. Give me 1 second to look this up. Videos. It's called Cooling with the Best Liquids and Oxygen Not Included. Cooling with the best liquids and oxygen not included. So this video goes through all of the specific heat capacities of all the liquids available and oxygen not included. And polluted water is the very best liquid that you can use for cooling early on in your playthrough. Because it's kind of everywhere, right? Like, no matter where you are on the Terra asteroid, you're going to find polluted water somewhere. Nectar is also very good, but nectar requires you to have bonbon trees. So it's not as readily accessible as polluted water. It's actually on par with polluted water as far as specific heat capacity goes. But the great thing about nectar... so if we take a look at polluted water, it changes state at 120 degrees Celsius and at minus 20 degrees Celsius. So this is the tolerance that you can work with when it comes to polluted water, which is not very high if you're trying to do something like cool a metal refinery with it. That's why you have to have a big pool of water. So when the hot water comes out of the metal refinery, it's not immediately changing into steam. And if we scroll all the way down here, we can see that this has a specific heat capacity of 4.18, basically, which is very good for cooling purposes. So nectar, on the other hand, is way better when it comes to your heat and cooling tolerances. This won't change state until 160 degrees Celsius and minus 82.5 degrees Celsius. So this is a lot more convenient if you're trying to cool things well below the freezing levels of polluted water. And of course, it's right on par with the polluted water at 4.1 specific heat capacity. Now, if we take a look at this setup here, so let me just get back in the camera here. If we take a look at this setup here, I'm using oil. And oil, if we compare that to the previous two liquids, so the crude oil will change into petroleum at 400 degrees Celsius, and it will freeze at minus 40 degrees Celsius. So this is perfect for something like the metal refinery, where I'm sending the crude oil directly into a steam room, because the steam room will just take that heat, evaporate the water that's in here, send it to the steam turbines, turns back into water, the heat gets deleted. The problem with the crude oil is that it has a specific heat capacity of 1.69. So that's a lot less cooling capacity that you're going to get out of here than you would with polluted water or nectar. And if you go watch that video, Cooling with the Best Liquids and Oxygen Not Included, I do a demonstration where I cool, I think it's a chamber of liquid with all of the different liquids available to you in the game. And you can see just how much better polluted water is than crude oil. So I hope that answers your question. Polluted water is basically your go-to, then nectar. Water, on the other hand, is great. So if we look at water, it also has a specific heat capacity of 4.179, so same as polluted water. However, it evaporates at 100 degrees Celsius, so it's not that, you don't have that tolerance that you do with polluted water. How are you cooling the steam turbines right here? These steam turbines are being cooled by this aqua tuner with radiant liquid pipes. Radiant liquid pipes and regular liquid pipes. This steam turbine, this aqua tuner is set to turn on when the polluted water inside the pipes reaches above 5 degrees Celsius. And then it cools all that. This second aqua tuner cools the rest of the buildings. Yeah, it's just a cooling loop. Yep, that's all there is to it. And of course, the steam turbines keep the aqua tuners cool because there's usually water in here if the steam condenses, and then the steam turbines just delete the heat. Yeah, no problem, Red Wing. Happy to help out. Yeah, polluted water is great. So if you don't have nectar, then go for polluted water. Oil, you really only need oil if you're sending the coolant from the metal refinery into a steam room like I am here. So it's coming out, it's going right into the steam room. It does a loop in here until it's allowed to come back when it's cold enough. So, I mean, ideally, I would replace this with nectar and then just have the tolerance for this a lot lower. I don't know if that would work because nectar still changes state at 160 degrees, but I would get a lot more cooling out of it, I think. But regardless, I'm just really happy with using the oil. It's an easy solution when you're dealing with high temperatures. If you haven't found oil yet on your biome, on your asteroid, you're usually going to find it at the very... Oh, we got a problem here. So actually, it's a kind of funny that you mentioned that oil because I'm starting to suck up water now with this liquid pump. And I totally forgot to maintain that. So I have to start filtering out. Well, actually, I actually am doing a filtering here. This is checking for... Thank goodness I set this up earlier. But this is checking for crude oil, and it sends a green signal to the liquid shutoff if it's detecting crude oil. Then it just sends the water back in, which I need to fix because obviously it's just cycling over and over now. So Nate, if you're looking to get oil exclusively for plastics, I would highly recommend using a Glossy Draco farm instead. I don't know if you were here for that when I talked about it earlier in the stream, but I haven't set up a single polymer press in this entire playthrough. I've been exclusively getting my plastic, so I have 72 tons of plastic just from these Glossy Dracos. They are super easy to run, like as far as ranching them goes, and they don't produce any of the byproducts that a polymer press does. So I would highly recommend looking for a Draco, taming the Draco, feeding it mealwood, having it lay Glossy Draco eggs, and then producing plastic for you. That being said, that takes a long time. So if you don't already have this set up early in your playthrough, you're going to be waiting quite a while to get your first piece of plastic. So if you need plastic right away, definitely go for the polymer press. But if your plastic requirements are pretty far off, then I would definitely go for the Glossy Draco farm. And actually, I have to fix this now because I haven't even built the what's it called? The oil well yet. I really need to build an oil well, but I'm not going to do that tonight because it's already very late. So instead, what I'm going to do is just do that and then take power over. Yeah, let's do green. I like green. And then just kind of get these guys to move it a little bit. How do you upkeep the water for the oil wells? Well, for any sort of water requirement that you have, whether it's Bristol Blossoms or oil wells, you want to tame as many water sources as you can. Like the cool steam vent is great. I have a video on that as well. The cool steam vent is super easy to tame. All I'm doing in this scenario, like you want to have a chamber that's completely vacuumed out, so you don't have any bad gases or gases with germs mixing in here. And once you do that, you just run cold liquid pipe. Oh, actually, this is dormant now. Okay, so I can't demonstrate it. But when this is erupting, there's going to be steam that fills this chamber. And all I'm doing is running radiant liquid pipe through here, which condenses the steam into water. And that's where all this water comes from. On the other hand, you could use something like the cool slush geyser and then just run it through a water sieve. Or you can tame a water geyser, and in this case, I'm sending the water into an infinite liquid storage area, so I don't have to have a massive chamber to keep the water in. So those are your kind of your three options. You do have also, you know, the saltwater geyser, which I'm doing the same thing with. So yeah, that's how I deal with the water for oil wells or basically anything that needs water. Okay, so we have crude oil coming from here now. So what I'm going to do is just cut that off entirely and figure that out later. I might... I think we'll do that on stream tomorrow. We'll set up an oil well here with some water. I need to build a lot of piping for that. I don't think I have any piping coming down here. Yeah, it's pretty easy to run out. Take a look at, I think this is a mod that I'm using, but take a look at the average output of the water geyser. If you don't have this this line in the stats of your geyser, then look for the mod that's like average output or something. I forgot what it's called. I'll look it up if you don't have this. I'll look it up for you. But basically, you can kind of determine how much water these are going to be producing, and then compare that to how much water that you are using. Like for example, the oil well. The oil well is going to use 1,000 grams per second. And the water geyser produces 2,700 grams per second. So you can run 2 oil wells off this one water geyser. So is there an alternative method to get reed fiber for Atmos suits? I haven't found it yet on my asteroid and it's killing me. Well, what is the method? Here's the 2 methods that I use. First, obviously, is look outside of your starting biome. So use the oxygen masks that I talked about in my last video and try to explore a little bit, because there should be reed fiber, or there should be thimble reeds fairly close to your starting biome on the Terra asteroid. If you haven't found any thimble reeds that you can tame, so what I usually do in my early game is I have my washroom set up, the polluted water going directly into a water sieve, and then the extra water that doesn't get filtered through the water sieve, you'll see it happen here probably, it's going to go beyond it and go into a thimblereed plant. And this helps give you some early reed fibers for Atmos suits. The second way you can do it, which is a guaranteed method, is to find dracos, and instead of allowing all of your dracos to turn into glossy dracos, you shear the dracos instead. The only thing that you have to watch out for in that case is you have to try to transition off mulewood at some point if you're having a draco ranch, because it's going to go through your dirt like crazy. Dirt is very hard to renew. It's not like water. You can't just get it from a geyser. So you definitely want to transition into what's it called? The lily. I forgot what it's called. Balm lilies, that's what it is. So yeah, these guys eat balm lilies, mealwoods, and pincher pepper plants. But you can shear them for reed fiber. So that's how those are the two methods that you can use to get ammo suits. I have 160 reed fiber, and this is strictly coming from this small farm I have here, where all the polluted water that I mop up throughout my asteroid, I just dump in here. And then from here, it goes into these farms, and it grows my thimble reeds. But I also get the polluted water from all of the extra water that comes out of my washrooms, like as you can see it happening right here. So those are the two methods that I recommend early on. Yeah, do the Draco approach. The Draco approach is very easy to get online. All you need to do is have them inside of a room, put a grooming station, a shearing station, and feed them. And like I said, you can feed them mealwood. Just watch your dirt levels, because your duplicants will be going through a lot of dirt in order to keep those Dracos alive. And also make sure that you go into your harvest overlay and turn off the harvesting for your mealwood so your Dracos can eat the mealwood. Then afterwards, from there, you'll want to transition them. And like if you want that to be your main source of reed fiber, which you need throughout your entire playthrough, because you have to remember, you have to repair your atmo suits as well, which requires 1 reed fiber. Where is it? So yeah, then you can transition to balm lilies. And balm lilies just need chlorine gas, I believe. Yeah, chlorine gas. So those are a lot easier to maintain than mealwood. So if you haven't found any thimble reeds, then do the Draco approach. That's definitely the go-to approach, because polluted water's quite important on your asteroid as well. Yeah, absolutely, Red Wing. I'm glad you caught that. Yeah, so you definitely want to turn off harvest, because your duplicants will just end up harvesting the mealwood or bristle blossoms. Okay, so what was it? Let's see who we have. Yeah, we'll take some snack fruits. Those are pretty cool. We got some steam going here. That's perfect. This volcano should be erupting as well. Hasn't erupted yet, but it's online now. And then this is what I have to work on tomorrow. This is fairly easy to do as well. I guess I can start it today. I'm just not going to be able to get it done. Let's see, oil well. Yeah, we'll build it out of gold. Maybe something like this. I want to have a liquid lock in here as well. And I guess there's 2 ways I could do this. I could do a liquid lock. Something like that. And then just have the oil flow out. Or something like... Maybe I'll just pump it out. Can Dracos eat something other than mealwood? I don't think I have that on my current asteroid. Yes, they can. So they can eat mealwood, balm lily, or pincher pepper plants. Where's a Draco? And I can show you. There's one right there. You can feed your Dracos, pincher pepper plants, which I don't recommend, because I guess you could, but they require polluted water, and that's a very precious resource unless you have a geyser. Um, oh, someone's trapped. Okay, let's just delete that. Delete that and do that. The reason I say it's more precious is because you can feed your duplicants pincher pepper plants and bristle blossoms and make the stuffed berry, and they get an insane morale boost. So I wouldn't recommend using polluted water to feed dracos. I would recommend the bomb lily. Unreachable food. See, why would you go up there? Harold. Oh no. He's definitely going to have an accident. Can he not destroy anything? Why can't he deconstruct this? Are you serious? Okay, I gotta give him a secondary way to get off here. So what do we have? Igneous rock. I haven't played the prehistoric pack yet. Oh no. Why can't you just destroy it? Just destroy it yourself. There you go. I don't think he's gonna make it. I think he's gonna cause an accident. I haven't played the prehistoric pack since it came out. I think I played like 10 minutes just to see what an asteroid looks like in sandbox mode. But yeah, I haven't done a full playthrough on it. I plan to do it after I complete this asteroid. It's just not something that I've had time to do because of the videos, right? They take a long time. And I'm trying to get back into full playthroughs as well and live streaming and stuff like that. So eventually I'll get to it. I'm sorry I can't be any help there. Okay, now we can close that off. And then we gotta start running water in here. So I think the best thing to do might be... I guess take water from here. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the best solution for that. I mean, this is the best solution here, to be honest, but it's still... I'm going to use up this water very quickly. Actually, you know what? How far is that? I might as well just build it, the whole thing. And how hot is this? Pretty hot. So if I was running it through here with regular pipes, I'd probably heat this up fairly quickly. Not that I really care about that, but I don't know. It just seems wrong, you know? Just seems wrong to have all that heat go all over the place. Or do I just make it out of regular pipe? I don't know. I'll probably second guess myself. Oh, I hate how I did that. Look, I have to cross over. What are your preferences for managing priorities? I try to make dupes prioritize your skill set. Great question. So this is how I manage my duplicant priorities. I wish I could make this bigger and expand it. Yeah, so I have certain duplicants. So early on in your playthrough, your duplicants kind of have to do everything because there's not enough of them around, right? So once your colony becomes a little bit more mature, you can assign dedicated tasks like the cook. I don't want the cook doing anything that is like researching or, you know, ranching or anything unrelated to cooking. But I don't want them to be idle either. So I give them the opportunity to do other things that are not directly related to cooking. Then I have people like Ruby. Ruby's kind of an all-around worker. So I've had to lower her priority on a lot of different things because she would constantly get stressed out since she's all around the asteroid. So I gave her sorting, and tidying as her main things to do, and then to help out in other areas of the base. Then I have someone like a digger, a dedicated digger, who I don't want them to do any farming, any ranching, any researching, etc. I only want them to focus on digging. But if there's no digging tasks available, I let them build, supply, and store. So I certainly recommend taking some time and looking over your duplicants if they're constantly getting stressed out, and giving them specific tasks to focus on, but also letting them do other tasks they might be good at, just so they're not always sitting idle. Because if they're sitting idle, then they're not helping your colony. Oh. Just go ahead and do that, I guess. So that's how I like to do it with priorities, but everyone has their own preference, and as long as you're not overstressing your duplicants, I would say go for it and do what you enjoy. Play on the lab map, and what I did is use the modem at all asteroids as large as possible. I'll try that. That sounds like it's fun. Yeah, it's I just haven't had time to play on the prehistoric back yet, but I'll definitely try that out. See you later, Red Wing. I really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with me, and thanks for all your support. I'm probably going to wrap up the stream pretty soon as well. I set that probably an hour ago, and you guys have been a lot of fun to hang out with, so I stuck around for way longer than I intended. But yeah, I think 2 hours. Wow. We've been going for 2 whole hours. But I think I'm definitely going to call it there. Just wait till it saves one last time, and then we'll get this set up probably on the next stream. All right, so we didn't get a whole lot done. I was just really excited to chat with you guys, and this is my first time streaming. So, first time streaming for real. I initially started as a test stream, make sure my mic was working in the webcam, and it ended up having an audience. So, thank you guys for stopping by. Nate says, "Are you familiar with the bionic dupes? I feel unlimited. I feel that's my main base because they kept." Yeah, so I bionic duplicants. I don't feel like they're game changing. I feel like they're definitely a fun addition, but they require a little bit of infrastructure to set up, like with the gunk disposal and all that stuff. And it's not a lot. Like it's pretty easy, but managing them is like an extra task that I don't feel like it's a big enough benefit to my base to have them around. Does that make sense? Hey Angela, I'm glad that you can hear me now. I know earlier in the stream I had issues with the mic. So that's why I don't have any bionic duplicants on this asteroid. I do want to have them eventually, but I want to get to space first because I find space to be more fun than. Got an echo now. Angela, are you watching the beginning of the stream? I think you might be. Let me see if I have an echo on my side. How do I make a vacuum in a very large area? Now I have 10 pumps, but the pressure stays around 6. grams. It's not going down and pumps are not working. How big is your area? 10 pumps is a lot of pumps. Do you have any debris in there? Like if you have debris like bleach stone, polluted dirt, they're always going to be off-gassing. So they're always going to be creating an atmosphere when you're trying to vacuum it out. Hey, thanks a lot, Nate. Yeah, this is my very first stream, and I didn't intend to go this long. I intended to be maybe a half an hour at most, just to. I wanted to watch the VOD over and make sure everything was running smoothly. But initially, my mic wasn't working, so people were able to help me out, and we got that figured out. And I ended up staying for 2 hours. Hey, no worries, Angela. I'm glad that you're here. Yeah, so I had no intention of going this late. It's almost 2 a.m. where I am. So I just had a lot of fun hanging out. And I intended this to be more of a technical setup stream for myself to go over the VOD and make sure everything was working properly. So I'm glad that you guys enjoyed being here. I'm glad that you guys joined me. But I'm definitely going to end the stream soon because it is very late where I am, and I need to start packing it in. So that's where we're going to end up. I know we didn't get a lot done because I spent a lot of time having fun and talking with you guys. I'll try to get a little bit more done tomorrow in the playthrough. Definitely got to get this oil well set up. Definitely have to get rid of this water here and not just dump it back into its own pond. But some of the things that we did do, we got this volcano ready to be tamed. That's going to start producing igneous rock for us pretty soon. We have this cool steam vent enclosed, which I guess is not that big of a deal, but that's considered an accomplishment as far as today goes. And I guess I could just take this steam and maybe pump it right into here, and that'll kind of work the same way as if I was to just build a taming container for it. But yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan for tomorrow. We're gonna get this oil well set up, and then just keep building the base, keep going towards space. Hey, thanks a lot, Nate. I'm definitely going to stream a lot more. As far as what I want to stream, I love streaming games like this because I have time to talk to the viewers. I know things like Call of Duty or Battlefield right now are really popular, but I don't think that would like I can't engage with the audience as much as if I'm playing something like Oxygen Not Included. So definitely Oxygen Not Included I want to stream more of. And yes, I do want to do a whole playthrough from start to finish on live stream. I think that would be a lot of fun. Also, in the next year or so, when GTA 6 comes out, I'll definitely be playing GTA 6. So in between, I'm not sure. I know that's a large time period, but in the short term, Oxygen Not Included. In the long term, GTA 6. And in between, who knows? You removed all the off gases and you still have atmosphere in there. That's interesting. So, because 6 grams of oxygen or 6 grams of whatever is not like it's a small amount, but it's not like the micro amounts. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see a screenshot of that to see what's going on. Could it be I wonder maybe if the room is just too big and that small amount of oxygen. Oh, it's 90 by 250. Well, that may be why. I've never vacuumed out a room that big. So what I'm thinking is maybe the room is so big that the oxygen doesn't, or whatever gases you have in there is not able to disperse and get to the gas pumps. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm just guessing here because I've never built a room that big to be vacuumed out. I mean, what I was gonna say, like, if you take a look at your gas overlay, and you can see where the gases are, and you have access to that room with a liquid lock to go back in there, I would build a small enclosure around your gas if it's only in one particular spot, and then just vacuum that out separately. You know what I mean? Thanks a lot, Nate. I really appreciate that. I'm really glad that you're enjoying the videos, and I really enjoy making them. So, and anyone who I can, uh, help out, play the game better, get to the finish, that's awesome. I love doing that. So I'm really glad that you're enjoying them. Do you have any topics that you'd like me to cover in future videos, Nate? Actually, I was gonna end the stream here, but since I'm talking to you guys still, I'll just keep on building. See how far we can get. Where's this thing? It's all the way over here. Okay, so I guess we'll just use this pipe. I'll have to clean this up at some point, but for now it's fine. Just go ahead and put in a lot of these little liquid bridges starting from up here. Just like that. And then 240 watts. Pretty sure I can just tap off that, yeah. It's perfect. Just go right like that. I'm definitely going to be doing space-related videos very shortly. That was my next planned topic. The problem with space videos currently is that my sandbox asteroid that I make all the videos on don't have any space infrastructure. So even in a sandbox mode, that takes quite a while to set up so I can demonstrate it. But that's where I'm going to next. Definitely space. I had one or two more videos that I planned on doing before I got to space, but I'm really excited for space. I think that would be a lot of fun to cover next. Well, guys, I'm gonna end it here because I am feeling it now. It is pretty. I am pretty tired. Thank you so much for everyone who came by. Um, I had so much fun chatting with everybody. And again, I didn't even intend on this stream being this long. If you have any questions, please leave them. I wanted to avoid it. Oh, okay, you wanted to avoid it. That might be your only solution. in order to get that room vacuumed out. I'm sorry I can't be too much more help there, but that would be my best guess, is that the room is just too big for the gases to disperse and to get sucked up by your pumps. Any other games? Yeah. Well, long term, definitely GTA 6. I'm a huge GTA fan, but it's a little late to get on the GTA 5 bandwagon. So GTA 6 for sure. I'm going to be making videos on and live streaming. And in the short term, there's a lot of games that I haven't played recently that I've sort of put off because I've been doing the videos for Oxygen Not Included. So it's and not just that, not just the videos, but just procrastination as well. Like I waste probably too much time not doing not doing anything, and then that just translates to not getting games played, or not making uh not working on videos as often as I should. So I don't have an answer for you for the short term, other than Oxygen Not Included. But in the long term, definitely GTA 6. It's one of my favorite franchises of all time. So I hope you have a great night too, Nate. And thank you for stopping by and chatting with me. It was a lot of fun, and I hope to see you again soon. I'll definitely be back. I'll have a streaming schedule at some point in the future, and we'll see when that is. It's all kind of a work in progress. It's all coming together slowly. Awesome. Thank you so much, Nate. Everyone else who's in the chat or who's watching the VOD, thank you for joining me. It's been so much fun being on stream, or talking with you guys, talking with the chat, getting to know the viewers, answering questions. It's just been a lot of fun. So I really appreciate it. As someone who's never streamed before, it's a lot of fun. So I'm definitely going to be back to do it again, and I'm going to be back to do it again very soon. So with that, I'm Ethan, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and have a good night.